You're such an asshole.
So I'm gonna be upgrading the microphone and my camera because these Blue Yeti mics, the new ones, the Nanos, they just put buttons where you're gonna bump them and turn them on, and then it completely switches the audio you want. So my audio should be better than the previous one before. Let's go to the question. If you have a question, you always go to assholeconsulting.com, where the world's only professional asshole do his thing. Hi, Cappy. I just got divorced and should end up with about $1 million in about 2 months after completing our house sale and getting part of my spouse's 401k. I'm 69 and based on family genetics, should live into my 90s, barring anything unexpected. I make about $1,400 a month at a part-time job and get $1,300 in Social Security and $400 in pension. So 2,000, 3,000, yeah, about 3,000 from a previous job. Did I do that right? Yeah, 3,100. Am I right on that? That's 2,700. Yeah, 33,000. This money needs to last until I die. I live in a town, a major town, but the only thing keeping me here is my daughter, who's due to have my first grandchild in about 2 weeks. One idea I'm toying with is buying 2 to 4 acres here so my daughter and husband could put a house on the lot, and I would build myself a small house on the property also. Well, hang on. You and your husband couldn't keep it together. What's the chances that your daughter and her husband will keep it together? Now you have commingled funds and all that. I don't mind if you buy the property, you let them live there, and you charge them rent, or maybe just let them live there out of kindness and charity. But don't be making no plans. It's going to be till death do them part because you didn't do it. Death till do your part. So you're toying with the idea of buying 2 to 4 acres here, so the daughter and husband could have put a small house on the lot, and I would build myself a small house on the property also. Well, the risks right there, they're gonna have to build it themselves. Are they reliable, responsible children? Are they gonna expect you to do anything? Are you gonna be mommy Warbucks here? Do they know you're getting this big payout here? Because I used to believe in the day family would help family out. No, a lot of people just take advantage of their family. So I understand you want to help your daughter. I would help your daughter in terms of like babysitting because obviously you're going to want to spoil your grandchild rotten. Um, I really wouldn't be buying people property or houses. Property, okay. If they want to build their own house, fine. But they're doing all that. I would be close to my daughter and grandchildren. My daughter would be close to her in-laws who also live here. I would like to go all solar with 2 to 3 power walls to sell power back to the grid and be energy independent, including a Tesla Y I would plan on keeping 10 to 15 years. I don't know if the batteries last that long, and using the FSD to get around when I get older. I don't know if you need 2 to 3 power walls. I have a battery bank of 4. And those power walls, depending on the model, I believe, and how big is your house going to be? If it's just you don't need that big of a place. Unfortunately, that size of land here will run around 200,000. The house about 200,000 to build. That would leave about 650,000 to invest and live on. But I should have minimal expenses other than the exorbitant property taxes they charge here in this state. Alternatively, I could move back to the family. Hang on, let me do some real quick math. All right, you're going to live into your 90s. Let's call it 25 years. So you got 650,000. Just assuming you didn't invest it and you divide it by 25, that's 26,000 a year. And you're making what'd you say? 3,000 a month times oops, I did that wrong. 3,000 times 12. Okay, so that's 36,000 a year. What did I do before? 650, 1, 2, 3, divided by 25. So 20. All right. So you're already cash flowing. Where'd it go? 650. Yeah, you'd I think you'd be okay. If you keep working your job and collecting your pension and all that, and keep your expenses low, you're making $36,000 a year, which isn't a lot. But if you don't have a mortgage or anything, yeah, you could live off of that just fine. And no, don't be buying no fancy toys or all that out of the crap. So you'd be able to keep working your jobs as you are now. The pension's going to kick in. You're not even tapping that 650,000. Assume it's invested in a diversified portfolio. Blah 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 blah. You have enough of an investment nest egg that if you manage that correctly over the between now and the point that you die, you should be fine. You should have enough money to live annually. And then obviously you may not. I would as always I recommend you work until you can't anymore. One, because it gets you out of the house. Two, because it's a tremendous thing for old people to do to help supplement their finances. So keep doing that. And then if you make it to 80, like if you were to work another decade roughly, you made it to 80, you're fine. Be great. Be great. All right. Alternatively, I could move back to a family farm in a different state where I already own. Oh, you already got assets there? You're set, man. You're fine. Own 30 acres and build a house over there. Or I could move to a lower tax state or even have considered moving to Mexico, which I love and where I lived for 4 months in college. Well, things might have changed in Mexico since 1963 or whatever the math is on that. The drawback, of course, is not being close to my grandchildren. I would like your input on these possibilities and your opinion on what options would make sense to make this money stretch for 30 years. So I said, well, I guess I need to know two things. One, what do you do for work? And two, how do you know? And do you know for sure where you want to live for the rest of your life? And so she gave me some more information here. You are a person who does a thing. Stressful but easy work. I work about 30 hours a week, $16 an hour. 30 hours, 5 minutes away from my apartment, flexible hours. I get health insurance. I don't know what the medical coverage means, but you got that. The only thing keeping me in this area is my daughter is about to have the first grandchild and plans on a big family. She found a good guy and got married right out of high school and is super conservative. I think I raised her right and we are very close and I really like her husband and in-laws. So I should stay here if I can afford it. If it wasn't for the grandchildren, I'd gladly move back to New Mexico, back to my family farm in the other state, or I'd buy 10 acres of ranch land between here and that for 70,000. Ideally, I like to make enough to stop working, but that might not be possible. Between the 30 acres you own back in the home state, your 650,000 you're about to get, assuming you invested that diversified, amortized over 25 years, have to talk to a certified financial planner for that. And you kept working until you're 80, that money should easily last you. Right. So I would definitely stick around and we'll go through your options here. Ideally, one, I could buy a lot here, build a small house on unrestricted land for 200,000, go full power to do monthly bills. Buy a small house and subdivision for maybe 250,000. Keep renting a 2-bedroom apartment, which is running over 1,600 a month. No, that no. News leaning towards A. All right, here's what I would do. This is just me, but you can do whatever you want. But your family is most important. You want to be there for your grandchildren. You will help your daughter a lot and her husband in being there to kind of watch over the kid. Grandchildren are the greatest blessing on the face of the planet. Nieces and nephews are kind of tied for that though, because they think you're God, and they're right. You're absolutely right. I am pretty awesome until they turn teenagers. And whereas I really like the idea of going off grid and buying the property and building it, unless you got experience doing that, I just see cost overruns and problems to go wrong. Whereas you could shop around for a house in the burbs or wherever that is kind of equidistant between where you work and where your daughter is. I'm sure you could find something there. Just get a small little house. It's built. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to worry about it. And I would keep working for the next 10 years or so. If you want, you got 30 acres. I don't know what you can liquidate that for, but I mean, you don't have to really work 10 years if you don't want to, but I would say at least 5. And I would spend time with your family. Now, you could do A. I mean, if you really wanted to buy the land and build the house, just so you know, all tradesmen are banging their sisters and they show up drunk and they shoot nail guns in their head because they're stupid. Whereas a house that's already built, and hopefully it was taken care of and the problems are already worked out. I just would go. It's easier because building a house, buying the thing, doing the so all that's going to take at least a year, and there's going to be problems. They're going to be dicking around with it. I go find a house. She's having the kid in 2 weeks, right? You don't have time to be dicking around with contractors that are banging their own moms. You don't have time for that. No, ain't nobody got time for that. So I would not bother with that. I would go find yourself a good, reliable house. Have an inspector inspect the hell out of it. Have another inspect the hell out of it because inspectors also bang their sisters and their moms because they're equally stupid as tradesmen. I'm not tradesmen. I'm sorry, carpenters. The people who build houses or don't build houses, as it turns out to be. It's just less problems, and then you have time to work your job part-time, go see your little granddaughter, no, your daughter or grandchild. I don't know if you're having a boy or a girl. And I play grandma. And you go work, your daughter needs babysitter or someone to watch the kid while she goes, runs errands or whatever, or maybe they just want to have, some time together. You take the grandchild and you get all the grandmothering in. And you just keep doing that. You'll build up equity over a decade or so. And you're going to stay in that house for about 13 years. Why 13? Because then your granddaughter or grandson will become a teenager and then you won't be cool anymore. And then I would reevaluate your decision on whether you want to move back to your home state, Mexico or New Mexico. I would also travel to Mexico. Things have changed a little bit since 1962. I would travel to New Mexico. I don't know why you would, because New Mexico is a crap hole. Although I did like Albuquerque. Even though it's crime, I do like Albuquerque. Don't know why. But I would spend time with your granddaughter. Just buy the house that doesn't have all the electrical doodadery. And then if you want to go off grid, go back to your home state and build it there. If you're worried about collapse, or go to Mexico. You sounds like you liked it. So I'm go to Mexico. I would like to go to Mexico. I would like to ride motorcycles across Mexico. I don't speak Spanish and all the cartels. I'm like, yeah, if I leave them alone, will they leave me alone? Maybe. It's not enough guarantee. But it's warm there and there's beaches. And I had a good time every time I've been there. No one bothered me. They had a real cute girl at the Pemex gas station. She filled up my gas tank. I didn't speak like benzene, por favor. I guess they have to pump it because it's like Oregon. No, you're too stupid to pump your own gas. God, I hate Oregon. So that's what I would do. Buy the house for $250,000. Keep working. Smother that kid with attention and love. Help out your daughter. Help out the new family. I would not buy them property. Do not buy them property. Do not help them with the house payment. Just take care. Look, do them a favor so that you're not like, I ran out of money paying for all your crap. That brand new SUV could have fed me for another 10 years, but I wanted you to be popular. No. Free babysitting. There, you're going to help them out with that. All right. Any super chats? Wholesome DJ Aftershock, $2. Spend it on flipping houses and Mercedes, bro. Hey, the Bekalov. Be careful in Mexico. There are reports of hideous beast known as a rage pig wandering that country. What's the rage pig? I thought we had a bunch of those here in the United States. All right, that's it. See you guys later, tools.